Hey, this is The Hard Truth with Tony Shaffer, powered by 6 Hour. Never settled. I had a choice of what I carry for combat. I recommend if you have to face combat, you better pick something you can depend upon. Not that you're going into combat anytime soon, just saying. But when I was in combat, I had a choice of what I carried. I carried 6 Hour. I recommend you carry 6 Hour. Never, ever settle. We are also sponsored by Swiss America. Call to get a free copy of their book, Swiss America's Secret War on Cash. 800-289-2646. Again, 800-289-2646. Tell them Tony Shaffer sent you. Get a book about the war on cash. You need to be prepared, not only physically to protect your family, you need to be financially prepared to protect your family. Swiss America has tools to help you do that. And again, that's the Secret War on Cash newsletter, 800-289-2646. And we are on the America Out Loud podcast network and radio network every week, every Saturday and Sunday. You can check us out there, and you can check us out at Project Sentinel, projectsentinel.com. And of course, my website, our website, where we have all of our shows, thehardtruthwithtony.com for our past programs. And without further ado, our current program, we're joined by Barry Morganstein. Barry is a friend, someone who I respect, who you see doing a lot of stuff. You see his work without knowing it's his work. He's a photographer, a master photographer, someone that's been around since the mid-'80s. He's amazing. So just an amazing patriot who not only stands up for what he believes in, he helps facilitate others like me and others who are involved in this information war every day, help us look good doing it. So Barry, welcome to The Hard Truth.
Hey, thanks for having me. Love being here.
Well, Barry, one of the notable things, and I said this in the pre-tape, in a pre-interview, you don't get out, I think, enough you should get out more. I mean, not that you're a shut-in or anything. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm saying that, you need to have, I think, more of a prominence in social media, because I think you have so many great observations and views. So we're happy to have you on the show. One of the things I do need to ask you about, and I know I asked you about in pre-tape, but I think we need to talk about it now. If you go to my social media, you go to my website, you're going to see a bunch of photos from Barry's session with me. You did an extraordinary black and white of me. I don't know how you did it.
Thank you.
I mean, but it's just stunning. I'm not saying I'm stunning. I'm saying you are stunning, because you made me look way better than I am. So I appreciate the fact that you did that.
That's what we all want, right?
That's right. That's what we all want. We all want that. So how do you do that? How do you do the voodoo that you do, to quote Blazing Saddles?
You're right. Well, I don't know. It's a combination. It's a little bit of lighting. I mean, well, I guess it's a lot lighting. I have my lighting that I'm famous for, but I think it's really about making people. I like the people that I work with, and I just make them comfortable. We hang out, we talk. We've got good music playing, so it's a fun atmosphere, and it just brings out the best in people. So I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's hard to put into words, but I guess I'm glad that's what I bring out in people. That's what I look for.
Right. So, and I asked also in pre-tape, I'll do it again. So when are you bringing it? When are you going to do shots of Stormy Daniels? You're going to bring out the best in her?
I don't think there's any best, so I'm going to pass on that
one. Wow.
I know. I had to throw that in there. So.
Yeah, I'll skip that.
Stormy's going to miss out on a lot of things.
There's a lot of people on my want list that I want to photograph. She's definitely not on it.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because one of the things you do post on your Facebook, and I always appreciate, is the photos that you wished you took.
Right. Yeah.
And you take amazing photos, but you put some amazing photos up there. So what do you look at when you pick a photo that you wish you would have taken?
I'm a fan of old classic America. I do a lot of actors, so I love old Hollywood. So a lot of my stuff is old black and white, and maybe when things had class and dignity, like not like Hollywood today. So I look back at those times, and I wish I was photographing some of those actors and actresses from back then. So, and some historic figures from the past too. I just I love history. I love old film. So that's inspired me a lot, that I just love to go back and photograph some of those people.
Yeah, another thing people need to do is you list kind of the movie of the day you're watching. So
right, yeah,
I always appreciate you pick some great ones. Yeah, you pick some great classic ones.
Yeah, just a big classic movie fan, Just love all. I do my weekly my Norman Rockwell of the week too painting that I love. I'm a big Norman Rockwell fan, so as you can probably see, I'm very traditional, and I love to go back in time when things were more normal.
But that's the thing. It's like so many of us. I mean, I'm a big movie guy too. You look at quotes. I do quotes all the time. Chris is a big media person. As a matter of fact, we're doing a retrospective on a famous TV series tomorrow. Can I mention that, Chris, or not? Am I allowed to?
Sure, why not? And it's going to be fun. Yeah.
So tomorrow we're taping a series in what are you going to call it? A show, I guess, a podcast. I don't know what it is.
Well, the podcast is called The Outhouse Lounge, and we're doing a special episode focused on The Prisoner.
Yeah, The Prisoner, which is the 1967.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yep, we're going to have Jane Merrow on, who was Allison in The Schizoid Man. We're going to have Tony, obviously. He's our real life number 6. And
I feel like it.
My Doomcock is going to be on. He's writing a book about it. And my cool friend Rose McDowell from Strawberry Switchblade will be on as well.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a guest appearance of Joe Biden as number 2. Right?
There we go. By the way, on your website, there are some snazzing pictures here, including, and if you're looking at the video version on YouTube here, a nice one of Tony as well.
Yeah. That's a great one.
And Barry turned it into a black and white, which is just extraordinary. And again,
the black and white is really good.
I just think it's more than just the coloring and the lighting. I think it's something about Barry. I think some people are touched, not like Joe Biden touched. I mean, good touched.
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah, and you're touched a good way. I think the good Lord gave you a gift, and that you share with people, and it's just extraordinary. So obviously, if you want to have photos done, you primarily do both DC and mostly New York and New Jersey, right?
Yeah, and I just started in January. We're in Jupiter, Florida, so I'm hoping to do that.
Oh, Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we were in Jupiter, Florida for 2 days of shooting, and I'd like to make that a regular stop also, along with. And I used to do Nashville too, and I like to try to get back there too. Yeah. So, but yeah, my main areas is obviously I'm based in New York. I come to the DC, Virginia area twice a year too. So, we take it on the road.
The people can know where to find you, because I mean, I can't recommend you.
Well, I appreciate
more highly than
Thank you.
we are. I mean, it's just.
I appreciate that.
Well, I didn't realize you came
needs
to
to think
Virginia.
about getting some shots with you.
Yeah.
Elizabeth's an actress, so she needs.
I just recently had new acting headshots done, like maybe 4 weeks ago, and I didn't realize you. I mean, I'm not complaining because I like them. The guy who did my photos is also one of my acting coaches. Super nice guy. He's here in Richmond, but I didn't realize that you came to Virginia. It's like, well, dang. I guess next time.
Yeah,
I need because it seems like about every 12 months. I need to update them.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're based in Alexandria when we come to town. So
I still got to get with you, because I still want to get my uniform pictures done.
We have to do that.
Not had our schedule and your schedule. My schedule has been wacky. As a matter of fact, I've got to be theoretically. I got to be at 6 Hour for a special event this month. I can't say what it is yet because we haven't get it all finalized. And then I got to be out west meeting with someone I can't talk about yet either. So it's just our schedules are wacky. It's tough to get everybody together. So. But Barry, one of the things you mentioned, which I want to kind of throw in for the team to talk about here for a second, is the idea of classic America. Now, some people would argue, well, that's nostalgia. Everybody gets nostalgic about the past, and it wasn't as good as they think it was. I remember the 80s. I remember how good things were. I don't believe there was nostalgia. I think it was a great time in America. People got along. I tell kids all the time, it's like, man, you missed out not having the 80s. I mean, yeah. We were on the brink of nuclear war,
right?
But it was great. So, how do you talk about the fact that what we see today is not the real America when you talk to younger people?
Well, I'm a little older, so I go back to the 60s and 70s, and everybody says, well, turbulent 60s, but it doesn't seem so turbulent compared to what's going on now. Of course, it was, but. And again, I go back to another time too. I'm just fascinated by the 30s and 40s. And even though I was obviously not alive, but I love reading history books. And again, back to the old movies. So I see how times were different then. But even, growing up, there was not much this kind of, there wasn't so many crazy things going on in our country. I mean, we can go through the whole list of insanity that's happening right now that was not, we wouldn't even imagine going on 20 years ago. Certainly 30 years ago, like
right.
just so much crazy stuff. We can go down the list. I mean, it's about people not knowing their sexes or whatever, or thinking they can choose their sexes. We can go through the whole. I mean, that stuff would have been laughable. People would have been put in mental institutions if they tried to do that. Let alone,
Gary,
on a serious note, let alone with children.
Right. But that's part of the point I think I'm trying to make here with you, is that by the way, I love the styles of the 30s and 40s and 50s. I love the cut of the suits. That's where when you take pictures, I had those suits from that time. I just love that look.
Right.
And the thing was, going from the 30s to 40s, 50s, there were gays and lesbians.
Right.
Yeah, they were kind of suppressed. And then in the 60s and 70s, I joined the Army in 81. We all kind of knew who the gays and lesbians were. We didn't care. It's like, yeah, go do your thing.
Right, exactly.
Be who you want.
Right.
And I don't understand how that's, now if you don't agree with the most extreme view of cutting people up, turning them into something else, you somehow are a bad person. How do you circle that?
Well, it's kind of like you said, when we were growing up in the 60s and 70s, we didn't care what people did. I think people like us, we just don't care what people do in their private lives.
Right.
If you're a good guy, a nice woman, you're great. We're going to hang out with you, whatever. But we don't have to shout about it. You don't have or force their way of thinking on people. And like you said, that we're canceled, and you get canceled if you don't agree with them. It just wasn't like that. Everybody minded their own business. It didn't become such a part of society that everything is about your sexuality. It's like to have a day or a month to celebrate your sexuality. I don't understand that. It's like I just don't get that thinking. It's like that's not something to celebrate, or even heterosexual. I don't need a day or a month to celebrate.
Right.
It's like, I'd rather celebrate.
That's the key.
Celebrate our heroes.
Exactly.
Well, that's the key. Celebrating. I mean, it's okay if you want to live and let live.
Right.
That goes two ways. That goes both ways. I'm sure that's not the proper phrasing for it right now. But what I'm saying is, you're right.
Stormy Daniels is the proper phrasing.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. And a group,
Susanna Gibson.
that goes in a full group, I guess, if you will.
Susanna Gibson, yeah.
But having to celebrate, or else you're a bigot. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. No. It's almost, personally, I would see it. I see it as patronizing at this point.
Absolutely.
Gary, can I say something?
Sure.
Do you believe that if you had, I don't know, say if you were African American, do you think your pictures would be better than they are?
That took me a second.
Oh.
Yes, I know.
Oh.
No, I'm just asking because, that's what the implication. Don't answer the question. I don't want to get you in trouble, but I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right.
That's what they're trying to say.
Well,
that's what they're trying to say. That meritocracy does not count, right? I mean, that's what they're trying to get at.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the whole DEI thing, I guess.
Right.
Is, just get rewarded for your merits and your ability, not the way you look, not your sexuality. We just want the best for everything.
So Barry, I don't know how you feel about this, but I do believe that there are things that have not been recognized as extreme enough. And we talk here on the show quite a bit about how to get people to draw attention to the things that they need to know. Have you ever thought about doing a shot with gerbils? Just asking. Not that I'm trying to draw that.
Oh boy.
A photo shoot with gerbils?
Well, I don't know. Richard Gere, I think, had gerbils in a photo shoot. Maybe Chris, is that correct? Am I correct on that? My history on that? It all blurs together.
No,
that was the rumor.
That was the rumor. Yes.
And he wasn't canceled for that. He was canceled for speaking about religion. So
that's right.
Right.
No gerbils for you, Chris.
That's right. Oh well. I guess I'll resort to goldfish again.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my. All right. So Chris had a video. So we're gonna. Is there anything else, Elizabeth? Did you want to ask Barry anything else regarding his photos? Since I know you better.
Oh well. So yeah, I'm wondering. So like when you very first started taking photos, because I was reading briefly through your bio, what was it that really compelled you to realize, hey, this is my thing. I gotta. This is my passion. This is my gift. What was it that kind of made it click for you?
It was music, actually. It was I love music, and I played.
Oh, you're a guitar player.
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of.
So do you still play?
Yeah, no, not really. I was never that good. Well, that's what it was. So I realized I was not going to have a career as a musician, but I love music, so I realized I had an eye for musicians. And at the time I was in a band, my girlfriend from high school was the singer. All my friends were musicians. I just started picking up a camera, started photographing everybody, and they're like, my love for music, I know how to capture these people.
Yeah.
So it kind of came naturally. So I realized that's how I'm going to stick in the music business. This is going to be my talent. This is how I can, continue hanging around musicians and, I guess enjoy my love of music. So yeah, I became a rock and roll photographer basically for
a rock and roll like groupie photographer. Yeah. Right.
Well, not really groupie.
There's a different. Yeah.
Yeah, I was hired by magazines and record companies. I would go to concerts and shoot backstage stuff, and so I did that for a few years. And
now that makes sense. That's a good way to get into the concerts free and get to go backstage. It's like, hey, I'll be your photographer, and they're like, yeah, come on. So that's a good way.
I've met some great people, and and I sell those photos on T-shirts and frame photos too. So I have a pretty nice catalog.
So I went out to Cherie. So Cherie has it, and Barry, she's promised to get a picture with her.
Oh yeah, I'm dying to see that. Yeah.
Cherie is, as the audience knows, is our bumper music and our theme, Rock and Roll Oblivion. So anyway, she's a big Bowie fan, so she appreciated that. I got two, as you guys know. I bought two from Barry for one for her son as well. So.
I'm dying to see it on her.
Yeah. So, but Elizabeth, groupie versus photographer. Stormy Daniels is not that I'm fixated with her today.
I didn't sleep with any rock stars. I just photographed.
There's a big difference. Yes.
Good clarification.
That's a very good clarification. That's your legal disclaimer.
That's right.
With any of these people, I've taken pictures of.
All right, so Chris has a video. We're going to get into the meat of the show.
Oh yes, there's a video.
Not that has anything to do with Stormy either, but
let's check this out.
Oh gosh, this is the more Hayos for the Stormy Daniels thing here. Well, here's something. We're going to have a little fun with Joe Biden and his administration, because his economy is no laughing matter.
No,
it's absolutely embarrassing at this point. But this is a philosophy. His spending and taxing and reprinting money and printing money all over the place is part of modern monetary theory. And you wonder if people, and it's basically about printing money. So this is why nothing's worth anything anymore. This is why inflation is out of control. And this is why Biden thinks he can spend whatever he can on protecting his buddies in Ukraine and spending all this throwing all this money at student loan forgiveness and everything else. Before I go off on that tangent and that long list, here is his top economic advisor, Jared Bernstein, who is trying to explain. Now, get this. This will tell you all you need to know about the Biden administration and its economic understanding of economics by the number one guy, the number one advisor to Biden when it comes to economics. And this is from a documentary called
The U.S. government
Finding the Money.
Can't go bankrupt because we can print our own money.
It obviously begs the question, why exactly are we borrowing in a currency that we print ourselves? I'm waiting for someone to stand up and say, why do we borrow our own currency in the first place?
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? They sell bonds. Yeah.
Karine Jean-Pierre write the script for him.
They sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah. So a lot of times, at least to my ear with MMT, the language and the concepts can be kind of unnecessarily confusing, but there is no question that the government prints money and then it uses that money to, yeah, I guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, cause it's like.
He doesn't. That's the one.
The government clearly prints money. It does it all the time, and it clearly borrows. Otherwise we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So I don't think there's anything confusing there.
And
he's the economic advisor. Holy crap.
That's Joe Biden and his economic policy in a nutshell through his number one economic advisor.
That's painful.
Typical of the Biden
So
administration.
let me
That's how they all talk.
let me address it just real
Um,
quick because I actually, believe it or not, have worked with the Federal Reserve. I know it's strange to believe, but I have. I've been an advisor to the Federal Reserve. I actually met with their chief of staff, and the Federal Reserve is a bank. They are the ones who theoretically are the ones who authorize the policy. They make the policy and authorize the printing of money because they're the bank. Now the Treasury, U.S. Treasury, prints the money, and the way it's supposed to work is that the U.S. government has to go to someone who's a bank, an outside agency, independent. Theoretically, they're independent, although I would argue they're not, and they actually are outside the appropriation process. As a matter of fact, as a bank, all the money they make to run themselves are off transactions. They actually transact, and they're the ones who loan the money out to foreign governments. One of the things, Barry, that you may have heard about in the last few days, about 10 days ago, Tony Blinken, the Secretary of State, went to China to lecture the Chinese on, don't you help those Russians. And oh, by the way, could you buy another $1 trillion of debt?
Right.
So that's the insanity. So how do you see this all playing out regarding the insanity of what we see here, what we see as common people? How do you see, this insanity of the Biden administration and their monetary policy?
Economics is not my specialty, but all I know is everybody involved with Anthony Blinken is completely useless. He's weak.
Yes, he is.
Well, you don't have to be an economist to know that knucklehead we just listened to was a moron.
Right, well, that, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not an expert, but I probably could have done a better job than him.
I'm not a biologist, so I can't define a woman.
Right.
Yeah,
but yeah, Blinken makes me nuts. I mean, they all do. He's a horrible leader. He's weak. He's a scary guy, actually. So yeah. I remember that's typical of everybody in charge. Everybody that they put in charge is completely useless.
You're right, KGP. Like, oh my gosh,
it's a reflection on who's in charge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if she can't find the answer in her notes, she just keeps flipping back and forth, and she stutters a lot, and that's annoying.
So let me ask a question. Elizabeth, you brought up a brilliant question, and I don't want to get Barry in trouble, but Barry, if you had to take a picture of Karine Jean-Pierre, would she come out looking like a clown? Just asking for the audience. I don't know. I'm just don't answer that question. I don't want to.
I won't.
But
I think
I'm just curious because you tend to bring out the people. You tend to bring out the real person. Just I don't know how that would look. I don't know.
Exactly. Well, if she opened up her mouth, maybe. But yeah.
I think you have to wipe off a lot of that eyeshadow. It's just too glittery. It's just
yeah.
Well, back on the economics for a second, but one of the notable things about the whole. You mentioned Tony Blinken, Barry. You don't like him. I don't like him.
No,
I find that these people have no ability to articulate any cohesive facts and policy. It's all about retention of power. It's about power for power's sake. And if you have power for power's sake, you don't protect the culture, you don't protect the economy, you don't protect those traditions that have made America great. In other words, you're cultural vandals. Do you see it that way or not?
I do. The question is, I don't know if they're completely incompetent and useless, or they really hate this country because they really are doing everything they possibly can to destroy everything great about America. And I really don't know if it's on purpose or they're just complete incompetent clowns. I'm starting to think it may be on purpose because I just can't believe people in power are that stupid. I mean, like say with the borders. I mean, with the open borders. I mean, how can you have to be going out of your way to destroy America? You can't be doing this because you think it's a good thing, or you're not realizing, oh, maybe this is not a great idea, letting people in that might be terrorists that are going to attack us.
Absolutely deliberate. That's what it is.
I'm starting to think, and that's where I know a lot of people that I respect say that. It's just mind-boggling that we have a president or people who are controlling him that hate our country that much, and it's deliberate, and they want to destroy it.
It's incredible. People actually follow these same people blindly.
Yeah, and a lot of people are still going to go vote for it again. I know a lot of people say a lot of people are waking up, and I know Trump's ahead, but I mean, Biden should be at 10%. It's scary to me that it's so close, and that they're, as you know, Tony, I argue with people on social media a lot.
Oh yeah, and I know.
But
too.
but the comments I'm seeing is just like from adults, supposedly successful, mature adults, and there's the same old garbage about against Trump, and I go, Biden's great. We got to stop. We got to stop Trump from ruining democracy or whatever it is. The nonsense they say. But it's mind-boggling how many people still go for that and believe it and don't see what's happening.
I know, it's scary.
We'll jump into that second part of the show. We have to take a break right now. We'll be back right after this short break, and we'll continue our conversation with Barry Morganstein and his life of photography, his ability to generate the best in people. That's probably a good thing since we need a lot of good people to be on our side right now. And we'll take a break. We'll be right back after this. Hey, this is the Hard Truth Part 2 with Tony Shaffer, still on the America Out Loud Talk Radio Network. I'm on their podcast network as well. We are powered by 6 Hour, Never Settle. I had a choice of what I carried in combat. I recommend you carry the best, and the best is 6 Hour, Never Settle. I carried 6 Hour in combat. If you have to face combat in your own form, you better have 6 Hour as well. Also, check out Swiss America. Swiss America is your best partner in fighting against the upcoming storms of economic chaos. So you can call them to get not only a newsletter, but you can actually get a Swiss America Walking Liberty $50. Their $50 is something physically you should have. I highly recommend it. You can call and get your Walking Liberty $50. They are limited in supply, so you better get out there and get some. It's good to have physical artifacts in case things go off the rails to have available to protect you and your family. 800-289-2646. 800-289-2646. Tell them Tony Shaffer sent you. Also, we're Project Sentinel, projectsentinel.com. See our larger group of fellows and our content, and listen to our old shows on the hardtruthwithtony.com to catch all the fun and frivolity and chaos we have discussed in the past. We're back with Barry Morganstein, photographer to the stars, good all-around egg, guy who's been at the forefront of our side, not the side of truth, justice, in the American way. And I'm actually not joking about that. It's true.
I appreciate it.
And so welcome again, Barry, to the show. So we're going to jump into the second half of the show to talk about where we're going, because as we speak, it's been proven by the fact that Judge got the evidence that a guy named Jack Smith, this special prosecutor, I wonder if that meant he got to ride on a special yellow school bus as a kid, a special and everything.
That would be the proper special, yes.
That would be, and because this
That's
special
insulting to
event,
the children who actually rode the short yellow bus.
well, he did ride because apparently he got caught bringing documents to a raid, and that's not a good thing when you're a Fed. You're supposed to do a raid and find documents that are there, not bring your own documents and throw them in there. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna enhance the crime scene. So what do you make of that, Barry?
What I make is I hope something, we see this time and time again. These idiots get caught being dishonest. They get brought up before Congress and they get questioned. But the thing is, will anything happen?
Yeah.
Will there be consequences? That's my thing. We're not surprised that this guy's a corrupt weasel, because of that, the administration is surrounded and the left is filled with corrupt weasels. But does anything happen? We can go through the list of people that have been, again, you get caught. They bring Zuckerberg in front of the committee, who was clearly, fixing the elections. But did anything happen? No. It's like, and we can go through the list. So it's just frustrating to me. Yeah, these clowns just keep getting caught, and what will happen?
Well, nothing's going to happen because apparently what I found out through other undisclosed documents coming out of the DOJ is Jack Smith is too feeble to stand trial for any of these charges. So
really,
whatever he did, he was too feeble to screw up the the prosecution. So that's it. He's not going to be charged.
But isn't that what they said about Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Well, that's why they said about
that's why I couldn't prosecute.
Unbelievable.
Jack Smith looks like a younger.
Having a trial.
Jack Smith looks like a younger. What's the guy in The Simpsons? Burns.
Oh, Smithers. Actually, he looks more like Smithers.
I guess Smithers doesn't have a beard. Burns is like a.
On The Simpsons.
Oh, you know what, Dr. Nick. That's who he looks like.
Dr. Nick.
Dr. Nick.
Hello,
everybody. That guy
Oh.
with the beard. Hello, everybody. I'm Dr.
Yeah.
Nick.
That's
He sounds like a villain to me. He's got
what
that
really
look, like Soros. They have that look of
oh
a
yeah,
villain.
yeah.
You know,
Oh,
Dead eyes. Dead eyes.
Tony, Elizabeth, and Barry. What bothers me most about this documents trial is it's always mislabeled by the media and purposely done so, because there are no classified documents involved.
right?
That when a president declassifies a document, those documents become declassified. So basically, what Donald Trump is being charged with is taking declassified documents somewhere.
right. You're
which
right.
He's perfectly allowed to do. That's a problem. And
But
the
did
media
Biden do what they're accusing? Biden actually did what they're accusing Trump of doing. I thought.
Exactly.
Biden
Yeah, you're
did
right.
actually do. Yeah.
Right.
and
Biden
they're
did do that.
gaslighting
As
they're
a vice
gaslighting the public.
president.
Right.
They're gaslighting the public
Right.
into believing, though, that these are actually illegally handled classified documents. When the fact is, there are people in the government right now who don't want Donald Trump to spill the beans on certain things, and that's what I believe those documents had.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you're right. The president has the authority to do that, to declassify them when he leaves the White House. Vice president does not. That's why it's a huge difference between what Donald Trump did and what Joe Biden did. And yet, of course, because the media, so much of the media is so liberal, they shouldn't call themselves journalists. Because as a journalist, I'm insulted that anyone would just spit out lies, get paid to do that on national television, and call themselves a journalist. That really irks me.
I don't know how these people sleep. Some of these people sleep. I swear, it just
I don't. Yeah,
they live with themselves. I mean,
how do you live with yourself? But that's evil. That's how evil works. Yeah.
So that's the next thing I wanted to touch base on, Barry, is because one of the things that you draw people to yourself and to your work, I think, based on some shared values. And I was talking to a colleague earlier today. I don't want to mention names because this person's still in active duty in the military. But I'm a former special agent. I started off, believe it or not, when I was 20 years old. I was already doing operational things. Chris and Elizabeth are aware of some of the stuff I used to do. Suffice to say, I did then what I do now in many ways. And as a special agent, counterintelligence, sworn special agent, going in to investigate a counterintelligence issue, I could never conceive of either being directed and accepting the guidance or being involved in dropping documents to try to entrap someone. I could not fathom that. And I don't understand how any American, left or right, would accept the task of trying to upend a president, whether you liked him or not, to try to get him in trouble. How do you see that as an issue relating to the left? How do you believe that there's any ability of the left to come back from the obvious betrayal of not just Trump, but to the Constitution?
The left? No, I don't see the left. The left, I think the left just hates this country.
Yeah.
I mean, they hate everything. Again, they hate our traditions. They, look what they do. Whether they're trying to tear down our statues, trying to tear down our history. I don't think there's anything. I've tried to talk to the left. You can't talk to them.
Oh, I offer them to come on the show. They won't come on the show.
Yeah, I'm sure though. Yeah, I would love to see that. But yeah, no, they just they're just so far out there. It's like with the Trump derangement syndrome. They don't try to talk to anybody like that. You can't change their mind. You can't give them facts. They're not interested in facts. They have the emotions. They deal with emotions, and they're just not rational. So I don't see the left. We just need more conservatives or traditional people in charge, I think, to get this country back on track. We can't rely on the left at all. We have to
you're right.
the left on the polls.
I would argue the left is not even the left anymore, because we actually had one lefty come on our show, and I don't think he would mind mentioning his name, Matthew Ho. Matt he's a Green Party guy. But the thing about Matt was he criticized the same people we do for a lot of the same reasons. We're completely different politically, but on core issues regarding truth, regarding what can be proven objectively, and the fact that, I think, Chris, I don't remember all the details, but when we talked, I think he was open to the fact that people he used to kind of work with were abandoning objective truth as part of the deal, and they can't do that. So I think there are people on the left who are ready to walk away from the left because the left has left them. Reagan even said at one point, I didn't leave the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party left me, and I think that's very
Right.
true now.
I think it's more. I would call him maybe a liberal, because I think a liberal and left is different. So he's a old style.
Yeah.
So I think the
Well,
left is just so far out there. But you could be a liberal and not necessarily a leftist kook. So
Yeah.
so,
Right.
Okay, but let's get to this. Donald
can see
Trump is one of those people who left the Democrats because they sort of left him according to what he says.
Right.
And Tulsi Gabbard, same thing.
right.
There's another one.
Yeah.
There are a few more. There are a few more. I think Zell, Zell from Georgia. I think it was a long time ago. You have even the guy from a Manchin from West Virginia is not very happy with the way his party. He's not leaving his party, but he's not very happy with the way it went. Kristen Sinema left the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
Joe Lieberman,
yeah.
I think, was another one.
Joe Lieberman left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe became an independent. I like Joe.
I started off as a
Joe.
Democrat. A lot of people were shocked to find out.
Oh, interesting.
I started
Yeah.
off. I
When I
started
was
off as a Druid, and I never gave up the skyclad ceremonies. Just
Well, the big note is back in our day, the left side were the ones who were more for free speech, and the right side was poisoned by these little old ladies with blue hair that always clutched their pearls and wrote angry letters to
Right.
companies and TV stations, wanting everything censored under the sun. So that's the impression a lot of people still
Like
get of
Cruz.
how the parties are, which is in fact it's turned to the exact opposite.
Right.
right. All the blue hairs are on the View now.
Right. That's right.
Yes.
It's like,
And
Yeah.
it's like a blue hair extravaganza. As a matter of fact, Whoopi Goldberg. Well, she doesn't have blue hair. She acts like a blue hair. By the way,
It's kind of purple.
Let's talk about Whoopi real quick, because first off,
Karen,
yeah, Karen. Did you know
Karen.
that Barry? Did you know she appropriated her name from the Jewish faith? Did you know
exactly.
that?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg.
I know.
And she even admits that, like, well, I became Jewish because it would get me more gigs.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Right. Exactly. And apparently it worked.
Unbelievable.
and
So-
it's like she stole the idea from Stephen Wright. If you remember
Yeah.
the old Stephen Wright joke where he goes, I met this girl one day and she said she's really attracted to Jewish cowboys. I said, hi, my name's Bucky Goldstein.
He was great. I missed
That was
Stephen
a,
Wright.
that was a genius right
He was
there.
the
It's like on Seinfeld. Remember when the dentist became Jewish? And
Oh, yeah.
Seinfeld was suspicious. Like now he's telling all these insulting Jewish jokes. I think that's the only reason why I became Jewish. That's
right,
hysterical.
for the humor, for the jokes, right?
And that was
Barry was
Bryan
an
Cranston who
anti-dentite.
played that.
Remember?
Yeah,
Barry
you want
was
to be an
an anti-dentite.
anti-dentite. Right.
Anti-dentite.
By the way, who played as a trivia? Who played the
Oh,
dentist?
Bryan Cranston. Right?
Bryan
Cranston.
Cranston.
That's
That's
right.
right. Yep.
That's right.
Oh, it's so
Right.
funny.
Yeah.
That's where he
Anywho.
started mixing the meth, right?
Well, I just found my Breaking Bad. I was going through some stuff, and I found my Breaking Bad sticker. By the way, the little they were in the first 2 seasons. They would send you, if you sent in for it, one of those metal things that had the BRBA Breaking Bad little symbol for it.
Oh,
Brian's a lefty, but man, he's a great actor.
He's
so good.
I
Yeah.
saw him.
He's a
there in New
wacky
York.
lefty, but the acting he did in Breaking Bad is one of the greatest.
Brilliant.
Oh,
brilliant.
yeah, he's
And
excellent.
by the way,
I've
I
ever seen.
saw his show of Network on Broadway there in New York. Brilliant man.
Yeah.
But somehow he's misguided and thinks somehow that the left
Yeah.
is open to free speech, and they're not.
Right.
Just saying.
It's so sad.
Yeah. And he's one of those self-hating white guys who's he said something recently about white privilege or whatever, which makes me crazy.
I'm still looking for it.
Yeah, same. Exactly.
I've never seen it. I got to
No.
work my ass off over
Yeah.
everything. You do too. I'm still looking for it. Elizabeth, Chris, have you guys ever found white privilege? I'm still looking for it.
No.
I'm
I haven't.
Italian, so it doesn't count for me. People think the only jobs I really get are questionable ones where somebody
Yeah.
says, "Hey, my business isn't doing well. Can you kind of like bring a gas can, some matches,
Yeah.
and take care of things for me?"
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there
I
we
need
go.
somebody to get whacked. Can you do it for me, Chris?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
I
racist
know-
against
I'm your man.
Italians.
Did you know, Chris, if you go to an Italian restaurant and you ask for something filleted, that means with the bullets taken out?
oh,
Did you
what
know
a-
that?
There are plenty of
that's very
I don't know if
good.
you knew that. I
That's good.
just asking. So,
As long as Brenda and Eddie don't watch, we're in good shape.
that's right. That's right. For all the mafia, we love you. We love you, mafia guys. Don't take it. We're for you. That's right. Keep the pizza coming.
All right.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
You know what we could do? Here's
Tony's
what we could
Takes?
do. Yes,
that?
it is about time for Tony's takes.
Oh my.
Yay,
And
Tony's take.
And the good thing is we now have Barry here. And
Barry's
we have
going to join us.
Tony's berries and Elizabeth's takes right here.
Yeah.
And as you know, Tony's takes is powered by Sig Sauer. Never settle.
Never
and as
settle.
you know, Tony never settles. He always
I
brings
don't.
Tony always brings something really cool from Sig Sauer. Everything is like perfectly well made, safe, and
I do.
absolutely fantastic. The
Think you have
Academy,
something there you'd like to show the
right?
audience?
Yeah, and the Academy is fantastic when it
So
comes to
today, just
teaching
since
as
you
well.
ask, I'm going to show off my
Oh, that's
Oh,
my
nice.
10 millimeter
Right.
P220. So they've
We're
got
gonna
a
do
new
a close-up on
a
this.
new 10 millimeter. They got the 10 millimeter 320, which is still a great weapon. I love 320s. I may pick up one eventually, but this is a
nice.
6 Sauer P220 10 millimeter, and it's got some pretty big ammunition in it. So I'm just
Oh,
saying,
nice.
because
Nice.
This
I want
you
one.
you can shoot bears with this, and I'm not joking.
No.
Bears and anybody who may disagree with the Constitution. I'm not them saying. I'm just joking, obviously. But the 10 millimeter weapon, it's this is my game. If I have to go to Alaska, which I have been to Alaska, planning on going back, this is what I'm going to carry on the range. So just
I
That's
could
a
use
good
one of those.
idea.
My wife encountered a bear not long ago on the trail, so we could
I'm
use
not
one.
joking. Yeah, that is that will
Hmm.
take out bears. That's why
Yeah.
that is there. So.
But I'm in New
So what
Jersey, so
happened?
they won't let me have it probably.
Well, I don't know. I mean, New Jersey, once you get your license and everything, it's pretty good. I mean, I would hope they would allow you to do that because
Well,
New Jersey, I love New Jersey Homeland Security. I hate their policies though. I don't
Yeah.
understand the state's policies. I don't.
Yeah.
So.
Hmm.
Trust me, I know.
All right. So, Chris, did you have something more to say?
Well,
So-
speaking of taking out bears, Rachel Levine made the news today. No, just kidding.
Ooh.
All right. Anyway,
Hey,
Oh, no.
all right. I have something. All right. For Tony's takes,
Yeah.
Donald Trump this week said he wants to see the campus protests agitators treated just like the J6 protesters were. I can go for that. What say you, Tony?
Well, I think what he meant was pick up the agitators and airdrop them into Gaza. I think he misspoke. I think that's what
Oh, very nice.
I think he
You
meant
have to read
no,
between the
put them on an
lines.
airplane,
That's
let
my
them go, live the protest dream. I think
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
I'd donate to that fund to send them over there.
Yeah, I would. One-way ticket. Don't
Yeah,
give them a
absolutely.
round way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Especially
I
the queers from
just don't-
Palestine. I'd like to see
I
them.
know, Barry. I
Uh-huh.
mean, you and I know some young people. We're hip. We're hip
Right.
people.
Yeah.
We know youngsters, and it's funny because the youngsters I know recognize if they sent us over there, we'd be the first ones dead. It's
Right.
like,
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
it's
The
like
young people Koreans realize that.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's like
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. But not in the Ivy Leagues. Apparently, they haven't figured that one out.
no,
You're special.
they are special.
Yeah.
So I wonder, Barry and Elizabeth, maybe you can clarify this. Do you think that people who ride short yellow school buses get a preference at these Ivy League schools? Is that how they get in?
Probably. Because
Yeah,
they're
that
so
makes
used to being
sense.
in confined spaces where they're protected. And then they go to Harvard and Yale. It's like, I'm protected here.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Or
they
you
never
have-
never read the Constitution. So they
Right,
don't even
that's
know what their First Amendment is. It's like they think they know and they don't. I have the right to this, I have the right to that, I have the right to I have the right to birth control, I have the right to no, you don't. Have you ever read the Constitution?
Hating America definitely helps you get in. That's my.
They don't allow real constitutional studies at Ivy League schools anymore.
Not
They-
anymore.
They're only teaching the DEI Constitution. That's where you
Right.
get the likes of the chick from NYU. I forget her name. I can pronounce her name like I can pronounce the mayor of London. So I'm done there. But then there's like the former Harvard president Steve Urkel or something like that, who's the
Yeah.
poster child for
Oh, right.
DEI.
Claudine Gay.
Well, DEI and plagiarism. I mean, if
There
you
you
wanted
go.
to plagiarize, master plagiarist. I mean, do they have a class in that? Can you be a master plagiarist?
Well,
or a
apparently
master-
not, because
I
she
guess
got
they do.
caught 11 times.
A master linguist. What's another term for that? Oh, a cunning linguist. Oh,
Ooh.
can I say that on the air? Can I say that on the air? I don't. I guess I
Well,
did. So.
There's all in that editing. Chris is going to go back and edit.
Sounds like something. Sounds like a lot of work
Bring up
to
Stormy
me.
Daniels again.
Or not. Oh,
Hey-o, you get the hail for that one, Barry.
hey yo, that's about right.
And those are usually reserved for Tony, and that was that
I know, that's a
deserved the
good one.
hail.
That was a good one.
Very good.
Let's try this one.
All right.
Okay.
The Trump campaign put up a lawsuit, according to the Gateway Pundit, demanding the end of counting mail-in ballots after Election Day. A good idea. And keep in mind, mail-in ballots are not the same as absentee ballots.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well,
So,
they have to
but
cheat to win, so of course
Yeah.
they're going to. That's why they want.
okay,
mail-in.
but Chris, that only takes care of half, because what about the female imbalance?
Oh, boy.
Again, we'll talk to Stormy Daniels again. There we go.
Oh.
You got to get the ACs and DCs, right? Right? Isn't that-
Oh, now
Have
that's
you ever
gotta
had this
hurt.
experience
Oh.
where you got a mail-in ballot that you didn't ask for? That happened to me like the last two presidential election years. I got a mail-in ballot, but I never asked for it. It's like, why are they sending me this?
Yeah.
It's weird.
But you didn't get the female in ballot, did you?
Yeah, it was shaped a little differently. I didn't want to touch it. so.
Oh, this is bad.
Oh my!
Anyway.
It was smooth, right? It wasn't,
Right.
it wasn't all like lumpy, I guess, right?
And it smelled funny. Never mind. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know if I
could,
could-
but I won't. I got in so much trouble. I'll have to tell the story sometime. I got in so much trouble going through spy school and using this thing along that line. So it was,
That'll be another
You hear
story.
that story.
that will be another story for another
Yeah.
day.
Another show.
Yes, but there is a story there. It's on our plaque, by the way. Anybody who goes to spy school, 288 was my class number, and the sayings of our class were so classic they actually mounted them on the wall. So I'm just
Very nice.
Here's
We got
one
in a
for you.
lot of trouble.
Here's one for you. In the I wonder how badly this could go department. Denver, the city of Denver is setting up something, according to Zero Hedge and some other sources here, it's setting up something
Yeah.
called, now get this, the Host Migrants in Your Home hotline. The idea is you can call the city government and say, I want to host some illegals.
That should be
Put 'em in my
disconnected.
house.
One.
That's got to be a joke.
It's not.
No, it's the extension of the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden Bodega program. Bodega, right?
Right, yeah.
Oh,
Right?
That went over
It's
well here in New York.
boy.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah, New York. They'll love
Yeah,
you
a
there.
bodega.
Well,
That's right. No, it's bodega. Bodega.
In all-
But anyway, bodega
Yeah, I know.
or bodega. She wants to have bodegas in every house in
Right.
Colorado.
Just forced upon you against your will.
Right. That's right.
in
If you're
all
going to have
fairness-
illegal aliens, you need to have a bodega to go along with them.
That's right.
In all fairness, though, we're the ones who keep saying, well, if you want to keep them here, you want to bring them in, then you can go house them. But I'm not sure
Right.
how many calls they're going to get from these namby-pamby, hoity-toity types who sit in their ivory towers and say, bring everybody in. I'm safe.
Yeah,
You guys
yeah.
go deal with them.
Those houses
Right,
in
and then-
Workers Vineyard and Hollywood, they can house plenty. There's a
Oh,
good size
yeah.
place there, so
It
Start
was
there.
great.
Martha's Vineyard. Right. The
Yeah,
same
which
place where the Obama's chef mysteriously died. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well, and also they had the illegals come, and what did they last 15 minutes? Said, well, thanks for coming, guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a good trip. We're going to
Yeah.
send you to a place you can make breakfast tacos on your own. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by.
But the good thing is there'll be a taco stand every corner there, so it'll be fine.
And I'm quoting Jill Biden again. That's the great colorful breakfast tacos of Miami. So let's
Right.
make sure they don't go to Martha's Vineyard. They go somewhere else.
Good old Dr. Jill. There we go.
Dr. Jill,
Dr. Jill.
doctor of dental proctology. Just saying.
Well, so the only reason she's around is because she is the Edith Wilson of this administration. Whereas in both ways too, by the way, as you know, that Edith Wilson helped when President Wilson wasn't able to perform the duties as president, she kind of did the day-to-day stuff, and they told the useless vice president then to go home, which, by the way, mirrors what we have now as far as useless vice presidents.
Yeah,
Did
that's
you
a
see-
really good observation.
I mean, Barry, you were unabashedly pro-Israeli, as am I. Did you see the other day when Kamala was coming out of a bodega? No, it was a restaurant. Really, I'm just
Oh,
joking.
yeah. Shrimp and grits, right? That was her
That's
response.
right, shrimp and grits.
What the hell was that?
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
that's
Vice President, what do you think about the agreement? Shrimp and grits. Oh, that's a great answer. Yeah,
Yeah, that's our leaders.
Oh, I
Yeah.
missed that. I got to go
yeah.
back and find it.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
It's,
was
it's
cringe.
scary. It's like, again, like if Biden does drop out, we're stuck with Kamala. That's even worse.
That'll make and I'm sure they want to dump her from the ticket, but at this point, I think the Democrat strategy is let Trump win because we just can't change what we have, call him a racist for 4 years and see if we can take power back after that.
Right.
Well, Chris, it's not that simple. If you consider the importance of being important, and when you think about the times that you thought importance was important, it's important to remember that as you think about importance, the importance that you actually assign to being important is important to those things which you feel are important. Just remember.
And that, my friends, is a song of great import.
Well, so yeah, like you said, so the left is always calling Trump racist. Meantime, yesterday, Governor Hochul of New York said that kids in the Bronx, they don't know what computers.
They don't even know what the word computer is.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But we're the racists. Yeah,
that's not.
Again,
racist.
they just get away with it. Biden makes constantly racist comments, and but again, Trump's the racist.
But if you won't vote for him,
poor kids are just as smart as white kids. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right.
Well, first, and that's another
play
thing.
That over and over and over again until election day. It's like, how do you forget this?
Oh, and according to Nancy Pelosi, that's why we need illegal aliens here so they can work the farms.
Right.
Oh,
and scrub the toilets. That's what she said. Who's going to scrub your toilet?
That's right.
Yeah, we need them to cut our grass. Right. Yeah.
And then she accused the CNN reporter of being a shill for Trump. That was good.
I know. So let me say something on that note regarding farming. I live in rural North Carolina. To be a farmer here requires you understand economics, because you have to figure out how to get your stuff to market. And then while you're doing the work of selling your stuff, you got to grow your stuff. You have to have large, huge combines. They're moving up and down the road here all the time with people who have skills to operate heavy machinery. Oh, by the way, once you get the heavy machinery out and you actually have, I know the guy who does the flying, you have to have airplanes that drop chemicals. These guys drop the chemicals. Those are high impact skills that, oh, by the way, you have to go to school for. And then, oh, by the way, when you buy the chemicals, you have to understand how to mix the chemicals. You have to put the chemicals in the field to kill the vermin that will try to eat your crops. You don't. And then, oh, by the way, when you harvest it, you have big machines which go out and do things mechanically. This isn't like people with backpacks with little bags on their side picking up cotton. This is high tech. So the very fact that you have politicians on the left so out of touch with modern agriculture should tell you everything you have to know about the Democrat Party. Just saying.
Very good. Yeah.
Precisely.
Exactly.
Sorry, I had to do that rant, but I mean, I literally am looking out my window to the farm field across from where I live. I know how these things work because I see it.
Same here. Yeah. They have a soybean field right next to us.
Yeah. So no illegals for you, Miss Pelosi.
Well, somebody's got to make her ice cream for her. So her ice cream sundaes.
Someone's got to fill that refrigerator with ice cream. And by the way, Joe Biden said some nice black person helped him during the pandemic to bring him food. Isn't that nice? Wasn't that
and Nancy Pelosi did. Nancy Pelosi did hire an illegal bartender for her home, so her and her husband could get hammered later on. So
right. You got to keep
excellent.
That was good.
If it wasn't for Stolichnaya, well, that's not Stolichnaya now because that would be supporting Putin, right? You can't have Stolichnaya vodka. You have to have something for your brand. So, did you know that Nancy Pelosi probably drinks 2/5 of vodka a day just as a kind of sustaining?
That explains the head shakes and the handshake.
Yeah.
I could only imagine what she smells like. I mean, you must smell her like coming from a mile away.
Oh boy, I think you could before she started drinking too, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Well, but we got to go. Barry, thank you for putting up with this. This is
you guys were great. I hope you have me back. That was fun.
We will.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
So
it was an honor.
A lot of topicality, and again, I think you ought to get out more. Not that you don't, but I mean, come on social media shows like this.
Yeah,
might have you on.
If you invite me, I'll be there. I'm happy.
We'll invite you. So
I have my opinion, so I'm happy to give them.
We'll do this again.
Absolutely.
So I didn't get a chance to actually introduce the team since the team started off with me, but Chris Cordani is still acclaimed from last week, and Elizabeth is still august from last week. So that's right, august.
Great meeting you guys.
That's it. And then again, shout out to our friend Sheree Curry. Sheree, we love you big. Thank you for letting us use your great music as our theme and bumper. And that's it for the show. Be sure and check us out at the Tony Show. The Hard Truth with Tony for our past shows. And we'll be back again next week with another great guest or great topics to talk about. Signing off for The Hard Truth. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.